You're texting while driving. Just one quick message. You know the statistics. You've seen the commercials. You've maybe even lost someone to a car accident. But right now, in this moment, you think, I'll be fine. I've done this 100 times. Or maybe you smoke thinking, lung cancer happens to other people. You ignore warning signs of illness. You skip the doctor's appointment. You think you have more time. And deep down, in a place you don't like to visit, you know the truth. You know that people die, that bad things happen, that time runs out, that disease doesn't care who you are, that accidents don't ask permission. But within seconds, your brain does something remarkable. It whispers, but not to me, not yet, not like that. This isn't stupidity. It's not ignorance. It's something far more fundamental. It's how your brain keeps you from falling apart. Your brain is lying to you right now, and you need it to. In 2007, neuroscientist Tali Sharot did something brilliant. She put people in an MRI machine and asked them to estimate their chances of experiencing bad things. Divorce, cancer, car accidents, job loss. Almost everyone underestimated their risk. Dramatically, they knew the general statistics. If you told them 40% of marriages end in divorce, they'd nod and agree. But when you asked, what's your chance of getting divorced? They'd say 10%, maybe 5%. And here's what Sharot discovered. When people thought about bad things happening to them, specific parts of their brain actually became less active. Their frontal cortex, the part responsible for processing reality, partially shut down. Your brain wasn't malfunctioning, it was protecting you. She called it the optimism bias. And roughly 80% of the human population has it. This isn't cultural, it's not taught, it's hardwired into your neurology. Because here's the thing, if you truly, constantly, viscerally understood that you could die at any moment, that everyone you love will die, that your body is actively aging, that cells are mutating, that accidents are random, that time is finite and slipping away every second, you'd never get out of bed. But your brain whispers, not today, not you, not yet. And you get up, you drive to work, you make plans for next year, you fall in love knowing it could end in heartbreak. The optimism bias is what allows you to live instead of just survive. It's a beautiful lie, and you couldn't function without it. But sometimes the truth breaks through, and when it does, you become a completely different person. Psychologists call it mortality salience, moments when death becomes real, immediate, unavoidable. A cancer diagnosis, a near-death experience, the sudden loss of someone your age, a global pandemic. Remember early 2020? When COVID-19 first hit and suddenly death wasn't abstract anymore. People quit jobs they hated, reached out to estranged family members, told people they loved them, made dramatic life changes. Because for a brief moment, the optimism bias cracked. The lie stopped working. Studies during the pandemic showed that people's risk assessment became temporarily more accurate. The part of the brain that usually dims when thinking about personal danger stayed lit up. We saw the truth clearly. But then watch what happens. As time passes, as the immediate threat fades, the optimism bias repairs itself. Within months, most people return to their baseline assumptions of invulnerability. The brain's protective shield regenerated, not because people are foolish, but because constant awareness of mortality is psychologically unbearable. Terror management theory, developed in the 1980s, explains this perfectly. Humans have a unique curse. We're smart enough to know we're going to die, but not evolved enough to handle that knowledge. Animals don't lie awake at night thinking about death, but you do. Your brain does. So your brain creates elaborate defense mechanisms, denial, distraction, optimism bias, cultural worldviews that promise immortality through legacy, heaven, or meaning, not to hurt you, to save you, because the alternative is paralysis. The optimism bias isn't working alone. Your brain has an entire arsenal of tricks to keep you sane. Let me show you the other ways your mind protects you from reality. When numbers get too big, your empathy shuts down. 1 death is a tragedy. 1 million deaths is a statistic. You can't emotionally process mass suffering, so your brain stops trying. It's not that you don't care, it's that caring about everything would destroy you. The just world hypothesis. You unconsciously believe that bad things happen to people who deserve it. That homeless person must have made bad choices. That cancer patient probably had bad habits. Because if you can identify what they did wrong, you can avoid it. You can stay safe. It's cruel, but it gives you the illusion of control. Plane crashes are headline news. Car accidents aren't. So you fear flying, but text while driving. Your brain judges risk by how easily you can remember examples, not by actual statistics. The planning fallacy. You plan for a long life. Retirement at 70. Bucket lists for someday. Dreams for when I have time. Your brain assumes you have more time than you statistically do. Because planning for a short life feels like giving up. Future you isn't real to your brain, so future consequences don't feel real either. You'll quit smoking, eventually. You'll spend time with your parents, soon. You'll tell them you love them, next time. Your brain treats future threats like they're not your problem, because present you needs to function today. These aren't bugs in your psychology. They're features. Each one is your brain saying, I know, but not right now. You need to live your life. So here's the impossible question. Is living in denial wrong? Studies show that people with depression often have more accurate risk assessment. They see dangers more clearly. They don't have the optimism bias protecting them. They're more in touch with reality. And they're more miserable. Meanwhile, people with strong optimism bias are generally happier, more successful, more resilient. They try things that might fail. They love people who might leave. They build businesses that might collapse. Because they believe, against all evidence, that they'll be the exception. And sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. But they lived, fully, without the constant weight of mortality crushing them. So is it better to see clearly and suffer, or to live in a beautiful lie and thrive? There might not be a right answer. So here's what I want you to understand. Your brain is lying to you, right now, about how much time you have, about how safe you are, about whether bad things could happen to you, and you need those lies to function. But maybe, just maybe, you can hold two truths at once. You can accept that your brain needs its protective illusions to keep you moving forward, while also occasionally, consciously, choosing to see through them. Not constantly, not in a way that paralyzes you, but enough to make different choices. To call the person you've been meaning to call, to say the thing you've been meaning to say, to do the thing you keep putting off for someday. Because here's the final truth your brain doesn't want you to know. It will happen to you. Maybe not today, maybe not how you fear, but eventually in some way, the things you tell yourself won't happen, will. Time will run out, people you love will die, your body will fail, the story will end. And knowing that, really knowing it, even for just a moment, isn't depressing. It's the only thing that makes right now matter. Your brain will keep lying to you tomorrow. It has to, and that's okay. But today, just for today, what if you lived like you knew? Speaking of things that won't happen to you, forgetting to hit the like button, right? Don't be a statistic. Smash like and subscribe to prove you're in control. Now, go on and tell me in the comments, what's the most ridiculous thing you thought would never happen to you?